Today on Metal and Mortgages, we discuss speed limits.
Slipknot playing their first show since 2016.
Hashtag sex strike.
Panera Bread teams up with Krispy Kreme. Burger King releases a vegan Whopper.
256-503-5289. Don't expect me to answer it because this is a hoe phone. So it stays plugged in on my desk. But call in, leave us a voicemail, tell us you love us, tell us you hate us, and you may get on the next episode because I will put it in.
Just do
I don't care if it is pooping. I will put it in.
3-2.
So you're gonna need headphones for this, but
this is Bob from Metal and Mortgages.
This is wonderful. Welcome. Hi. Oh, God, it's so good.
okay.
I don't know what just happened.
Oh, you'll find out in post.
Good deal. I like surprises.
Edit.
So clearly our new sponsor is EV Monitors. You can see to the left and right of us.
Yeah, I'm still afraid to put them down on the floor because we've had rain over the last month or so and it hasn't entered the room here, but I'm still afraid to put them all the way on the floor and put it back where they go. So they're up on what do they call those moving dollies or furniture dollies for the time being. So there's that.
So hell yeah. I don't know if this is going to be their full-time drummer or not, but for the show they just did in Vegas, their first show since the passing of Vinnie Paul, they recruited Stone Sour drummer Roy Moragora. I don't know. I don't want to say that wrong. I probably just butchered that.
You can just be like, Roy.
Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, the Stone Sour drummer. Apparently that show went pretty well. I think I saw some clips of it.
Looking at you through the glass.
Let's see what else.
At that party.
Danzig is going to direct a vampire spaghetti western. And he also, I think, released an album of Elvis covers or something, or he's going to.
He's Black Elvis. I mean, he's the not like African-American Elvis, but God, I'm going to get banned. Black meaning dark, like emo. Back in the 80s, we used to call him the Black Elvis.
I follow you.
Black Elvis.
Yeah,
Like,
it makes sense to me.
Not to be confused with Black Jesus.
Totally not racist.
White devil.
Do you know where the term spaghetti western comes from?
My pants.
No, actually not. It a lot of.
I know this. When I have spaghetti, it sounds like there's a western going down.
Yeah. Well, in the I guess 60s and 70s era, a lot of Italian directors were coming over to the U.S. and creating Western movies.
I did not know that.
And so that's why they cued the term spaghetti Western.
That's pretty cool.
3 Days Grace is kind of taken aback that they have more number one singles than Van Halen ever did.
They'll never have more than Kraft singles.
Check.
24 in a pack.
I see. Guns N' Roses bassist says Axl Rose has become a vocal master.
Now, are you talking about Duff McKagan or
I believe so. Yeah.
The original bass player?
Duff. That
Duff.
sounds familiar.
That's the beer from the Simpsons, right?
You know, even in Axl Rose's heyday,
I'll tell you what. Appetite. I was 100% down because they were different. They were edgy. They were rude. Everything I was looking for at age 17. Went and saw them live opening for Motley Crue on the I think it was the Girls tour where Tommy Lee's drum set was in that cage and it came out over the audience and spun.
Oh yeah,
that was amazing. Lakeland, Florida.
Slipknot stole that idea.
Yeah, I've heard. Well, then Tommy Lee did the roller coaster loop where he'd go upside down. So,
and what's his name? Jordan or whatever, the original Slipknot drummer,
Joey Jordison.
Joey, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, he did that too. He
Mr. and Mrs. Jordison's boy.
The harness and spun upside down and stuff. He threw up before every show.
Who did? Joey Jordison?
Yeah, I believe so.
Is he anorexic or something?
No, he was nervous.
It was like a binge and purge thing.
He was,
Alcohol.
He was just nervous.
But the old butterflies, they can do that to you. Did you know that so far Kiss has grossed $50 million on the first leg of their North American tour? Grossed $50 million. Now that's gross. So I don't know what net would. I'm more interested in net, but they're not giving that information out yet. Probably too soon.
You know what hurts my brain is
I won't go there.
what is that?
Basic math.
Who's going to figure out? You got to figure out the taxes for each city, state you play in. You know, it changes. I'm sure they have accountants or whatever, but still.
I haven't bought concert tickets in forever. I mean, are there like the fees? You know, back in the day, it was Ticketmaster, or are they still high, like $12 a ticket or something? I mean, you know, because that was a big thing. Pearl Jam was going against Ticketmaster and selling them.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I remember you used to could go to a gas station and get Ticketmaster tickets. I remember I walked into a Shell just on a whim because we heard Slayer was playing in Birmingham, and I walked into a Shell here in town and bought Slayer tickets, and then drove to Birmingham.
I walked into a Shell once and bought a Shell.
What'd you do with it?
Smoked that. Little maple syrup, honey.
Billboard has released a report that says metal music is the fastest growing genre according to 2018.
That's because it really hasn't. It's died down a lot. I mean, to me, the issue with it is there's too many bands coming out. I know that's going to sound like blasphemy. You know, y'all are out there, whatever. Never. There's too much, man. I feel like we could stop making music today, which don't do that. But I'm just saying, if bands would just quit putting out albums today, we got enough new stuff to go through that would last us the rest of our lives. So I can't keep up, basically, is what I'm saying.
What I haven't heard is, in music, it seemed like things were really exciting. There were all these new bands coming out when it was called new metal, around
NU metal
2000. You know, maybe a little
Corn,
prior.
Limp Bizkit, Deftones. They hate being called that.
Yeah, just a lot of stuff was dropping. You know, Godsmack came out around then.
Orgy.
Saliva was a new thing at that point.
Yeah, but they weren't new metal, but
right,
they were more like radio rock.
But, you know, and the whole time, I mean, me and you were in a band at that time, which was great to be in a cover band with all that stuff coming out. And
the Derek experience. Yes, that was wonderful.
Shit.
Busted.
So we definitely capitalized on that, and it paid off, and that was a lot of fun. But you know, while we were in it, I don't remember us saying to each other, acknowledging that, man, this is a great time in music. Like,
we had no idea that it was going to go to, you know, Brittany and Christina and
but you know, people have
Jay-Z
people have been saying since grunge, like, when's the next movement? Well, that was it. That was a movement. It really was. Now,
well,
looking back on it,
we didn't foresee Facebook. We didn't foresee YouTube. I mean, nobody did, and we kind of bailed out of it 4 or 5 years before any of that really gained any kind of popularity. You know, so
now it's really saturated. Case in point.
Well, I mean, but do you wonder? I mean, would we have blown up even more had we had these, you know, resources?
Oh man,
or would it have made it worse?
Could you imagine if we had a video back then? Oh boy,
we have some. They're just really piss poor quality.
We didn't release them. That's for sure.
Dude, I watched the one. I actually watched the one from us. Was it Club One? That was downtown. Yeah, I watched the one from that, and bless your dad's heart, he's trying like hell to get a good shot. But that dude that owned the place, he was up there in the DJ booth running the lights, and this dude has some he had a very elaborate light setup, and the lights were just going ape shit, like during the slowest parts of the song, and the light would come out and blind your dad's camera eye, so it was constantly focused. I got it. Nope, focused. Constant. It was terrible.
And then at that show in particular, I think it was second set, maybe, I don't know, but you know, somebody hit the smoke machine, and it slowly.
That was probably me, because I'm the one that had the button by my foot.
Anyway, so I'm fixing to start singing, and the cloud just comes straight to me and covers me up completely, and you can't see me for the first half of the song.
That was the one where old Roden decided to dance on the dance floor with a bar stool.
Oh wow!
He laid it down and was spinning it around, and he was having a good time with that one.
Yeah.
That ain't on video though.
Oh, that's too bad.
So, the 3 members of System of a Down have come out and said that it is not going to go well because they have creative differences with Serge about the vocalist, about where to take the band, the direction of the band. They just cannot agree. So I don't think that album's coming out. I think they should just go find somebody else to do it. Really.
You know what's interesting is
Books.
what's the guitarist's name for System of a Down?
Darren Malakian.
Okay, good on you. I would not even attempt that.
They're Armenian. They're all 4 of them,
Right.
to my knowledge. They're all Armenian. They all met, I think, in L.A. They all answered like one of those pull tab ads, and they're all Armenian. What are the odds of that?
Right.
All 4 of them go. Unless they live in like a Armenian like neighborhood, and they all pulled them from the same Armenian bodega, and you know.
What's always interesting to me is how he wrote his solo record, but he was writing that material for System of a Down, and when he figured out that wasn't fixing to happen, he used it for his solo material.
Yeah.
Just like Jerry Cantrell said he did that with Alice in Chains' last full-length LP, which was self-titled with the 3-legged dog on it. He wrote a lot of that, and he thought he was going to have to use it for a solo record, wasn't sure, and then finally it just happened. And I just always think that's interesting how the guitarist goes off and writes a bunch of riffs or composes songs, and then you don't know how exactly it's going to get released. You know?
Yeah, that is interesting.
But I remember when what was that song? What was their main song? "Angels Must Die" or whatever.
Which
System of a Down.
Oh, they got at least 5 songs that.
No,
that
but what was
you could
that
all
first one that was?
Aerials was a big one.
No,
Oh, you mean the first big
first
song?
big one.
That was on the radio? That was
He says "Angels Must Die."
you mean the wake up, grab a brush, put a little makeup?
Yes.
I was okay. That was I forget what it's called.
Anyway, when I first saw that, it was the video. It came on MTV, and I saw the video. They looked all Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
It was right around 9/11.
Oh yeah.
And it was very scary. Like, to me, I was like, what's going on? Like, what? I thought it was a conspiracy or something, you know?
To me, nothing beats
Because they're talking about angels must
BYOB,
die. And
Bring Your Own Bomb, BYOB.
Oh,
la, la,
yeah.
la, 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 la.
Oh, I love that song.
Funny as hell.
I love that
Everybody's
song.
going to the party.
That's got such a groove.
I love that song, dude.
Yeah, that
song
song's
was
great.
When
I
that song
actually-
came out, I had to grab my guitar and freaking work it all out.
I actually got to cover that with
It's
Steve.
in half step drop.
In 2004, I got to cover
Really?
that with Steven, yeah.
That would be with. Oh, was he in
Yeah,
Crapper?
He
Creeper?
was a drummer. No.
Something else.
We
It's all
only
right.
had like,
You don't have to go into it.
yeah, it was something else. But it was fun.
Real quick, Butcher Babies are in the studio.
Hey, they liked a Sentient Shell video on our Instagram.
Yep, they sure did.
One of the singers.
Yeah,
Pretty
and
cool.
so yeah, I've got their vinyl. I got 2 of their albums on vinyl. Great. I enjoy it. Some people don't. I think they're creative. Let's see. Tool played in Birmingham. Was that last week?
I saw some clips of
Well,
that.
at that Birmingham show, they announced the date for their album.
How about that?
For their album release, it's August 30th.
So everybody can tell
They
Danny,
went and dropped it.
everybody can tell the drummer that he's not in the loop, I guess, because he said April.
Well, it said all. Maybe it's a typo. Well, I mean, April 30th would have been that way, unless it's 2020.
Sully from Godsmack, the singer from Godsmack, is working on a bio documentary about himself and his
Aw.
life.
Wow, that's very introspective. I
I
guess.
think he released a book not too long ago, too.
As long as he doesn't put out another solo album, I'm totally good.
It wasn't good, was it?
Well,
I
it came
missed
out
that
about
one.
the same time as Serge Ticka, whatever his last name is. And I listened to both. I'm like, are these bands breaking up? Because I really like both these bands. And I listened to them, and I'm like, this is a yawn fest. Both of them. Oh, I get feelings. Wah. Well, you know who we heard on the radio this morning.
Step.
Live in the studio.
Yeah.
Here in Little Hunts, Vegas.
And he wasn't even having a show. He just stopped in just to, I guess, promote his record.
Yeah,
kinda cool.
Well, I guess he's living in Nashville now, and he brought a couple guitarists with him, and they did a couple songs acoustically live in the studio here in little old crappy North Alabama. So
And his vocals sound pretty good.
you could tell he was not like he didn't practice it very much before getting here.
But he
and
sounded-
it's probably too early for him.
He sounded
maybe
much-
he needs a.
Oh, hell.
Saying
All
he had a
right.
bug on his arm and he needs to.
All right, Hatfield. Start calling you Hatfield.
Don't do that.
The Metallica singer, they had a
Yeah.
Alice in Chains had to cancel the tour with Metallica back on the Three-Legged Dog record, and Hatfield got on the stage and was joking about Lane tapping his arm, and then they did a piece of Angry Chair, and the audience threw shoes at him. And I don't blame them.
Shoes?
Yeah, well,
Shoes are expensive. Why are you gonna throw shoes? Throw a cup.
they had to cancel the show due to Lane's drug abuse, and he was making light of it, So anyway, that's why I was like, oh, I'm gonna start calling you Hatfield.
Only dopes use dope.
Yeah, it was wasted talent, but at least he got a lot of material out. Rage Against the Machine's drummer apparently he had an affair with Juliette Lewis, the actor.
Is that what his mama named him? Rage Against the Machine's drummer.
I could not pronounce his name, so
Oh my
I
god!
wasn't even going to
Give
try.
it to me and I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah. Well, then I just can't bring up topics.
45 years of stuttering, but I can still pound them out.
But anyway,
I can articulate.
his wife wants $30,000 a month in spousal support. Now that is before child support.
Is that Britney Spears shit? that is some Kevin Federline, Britney Spears.
That's the
Powerball.
Powerball right
Yep.
there. Yep.
Yep.
Lamb of God's guitars were stolen at
Yeah.
a Phoenix concert.
They caught 3 of the guys.
Did they?
They caught 3 of them, but I guess there's more, and there's more gear that they can't find. So
Hopefully they didn't have a like a black trailer with a padlock on it. Know somebody who might.
I'd like to be a pepper too.
Killswitch completed the mastering process on their new record.
Really?
Yeah, and this one's gonna have.
Is it gonna be with that dude? I can't remember his name.
Jesse Leach.
Jesse. I was gonna say.
Yeah,
his
of
name.
course he's their vocalist. But they do have a song confirmed on the record that's gonna have Howard Jones on it.
Awesome.
That's gonna be
now,
sweet.
Now we're talking 80s Howard Jones or the black guy.
Oh yeah. It's the Light the Torch singer.
Okay, what was the song from the 80s that I'm talking about? Howard Jones.
Things can only get better.
That's it. Very good.
It's fantastic. I did a little acoustic ditty on my Instagram,
I
and
wasn't gonna say that. I knew you did it. But
yeah,
that's hot. I'm not going to ask you questions you don't.
the
know
Blues
answer to.
Brothers liked it, and I thought that was really cool because I'm
Dan
a huge
Aykroyd.
I'm a huge Dan Aykroyd fan, and it said
You didn't look hard enough. It was actually Fan Aykroyd.
it said the pages ran by him and John Belushi's wife, or maybe daughter, could be his daughter.
Is that what her mama named her? John Belushi's daughter.
So yeah, Slipknot's gonna be on Jimmy Kimmel in just a few days, May 17th.
Oh, so they're going to be having to, prior to them playing a song, they have to put down Trump first and blame Trump for all their problems. Jimmy Kimmel is funny, okay? I loved him on The Man Show. All right? But
He seems like a good guy. I mean,
he's a good comic. He's got great delivery.
anytime we have like a mass shooting, he gets in tears on his show. He seems like a good guy.
I'm sick of it. Quit. Take comedy and politics. Pull them apart, especially on the nightly. I'm going to bed or laying in bed, trying to chill, trying to wind down. Can't smoke weed because it ain't legal here, so I don't do that stuff. And I'm trying to wind down, and he's in there trying to get me riled up, man. With just stop. Tell me a joke, make me giggle, make me feel good, so I can go to sleep and have good dreams.
I get you. But you were saying that they're releasing their masks tomorrow.
Yes,
I guess.
Slipknot is supposed to release their new masks tomorrow. You heard about the whole Chris Fenn thing? We talked about that. I want to say it was episode 30, either 30? Episode 30, I think it was. You brought up that the dildo nose guy, and I was like, "What?" And you're like, "Dildo nose." I'm like, It took me a second to register what that actually
yeah,
meant.
to visualize
But
it.
yeah, he and I guess one other guy had quit the band and was taking him to court for they set up a couple of the guys, Corey Taylor and one of the guys, I don't know if it was Mick Thompson, but one of the other guys in the band, they had set up LLCs in different states for merch, and they were getting paid off of the merch. And he wants his cut of that since he's part of the band, so he took him to court and quit the band. And well, their lawyer has come out since and said that he's just a hired gun. He is not an official, on the books kind of member of the band. So. Well, of course, it's probably going to go to court still. All the documentation that should be shown.
The only thing that matters is what's on paper. So
I don't think that any lawyer, Chris Finn's lawyer, probably knows to look over his contract. You know what I mean? So there's got to be something there. Otherwise, a lawyer would be like, "Yeah, sorry, buddy, you got dipped, man. Catch out. Don't do it again." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and a wreck, need a check? Call me right now.
Well, I wonder why Clown seems to have so much control. He seems to have as much control as Corey. And, Clown doesn't really play an instrument, as far as I know. I could be wrong.
He plays the hell out of the beer keg with a baseball bat.
Yeah. And apparently he's a good businessman.
I don't get it.
Well, he's...
Because he's getting paid for beating out a beer keg.
No, obviously.
I wonder if he gets to drink the beer that's in the keg before the show and then beat it up with a baseball bat.
Obviously, he has a big controlling stake in that band.
How do you mic a beer keg? I want to do that just once.
I think he directs their videos, or at least some of them he has. I think
maybe he designs the mask or something. Who knows? Maybe he washes everybody's underwear.
I think last episode I talked about. Seven Dust was starting to write for a new record. And, we said, Clint Lowry is finally releasing his own solo record under his own name.
Yep.
And I thought maybe he was done with that since Seven Dust is starting to write. But actually, he posted on Facebook that he's entering the studio in June for his solo project. So I don't know how you juggle that. You're starting to write with one.
I can't hear the last name Lowry without thinking of the movies.
Seasoning salt?
The movies from the early 2000s. Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, Bad Boys, and his name is Mike Lowry. I don't know why, but just the way he said that stuck it in my head.
I like that movie.
So when you say Clint Lowry, I'm like, Clint Lowry. I got to put some flavor on it.
I like that movie Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin.
Yes.
That was a good movie. They go to jail and they grow old and stuff.
Yep. Good stuff. Good
he had to stand on those bottles barefoot.
Oh, God, it's so good.
I can't hear that, y'all.
That's why you wear headphones. Okay, I got one. Dunnable Guitars has built a one-of-a-kind guitar that is fully functional. It looks like a Les Paul kind of shape. It looks like a cool guitar, but it also doubles as a fully functional pipe to smoke weed out of.
Nice.
Yeah. We'll throw up a pic of it.
I know a few guitars that might buy this.
They had done it. No, it's just a one of a kind. It'd be neat. I don't particularly want that smell hanging on. If it's hanging up here, I'll be going, I'll be right back, But they had made it for some 420 festival or something to get together, whatever it was. You know how it is in California. I'm sure that's where they're at. So hipster stuff, smoke weed. Maybe it's Colorado. Who knows? But, we're going backwards. We just outlawed abortions here, basically.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Speaking of new guitars, I have been on the hunt for an acoustic for quite a while, and I finally pulled the trigger. And so I think this would be a great time for a little show and tell.
I'm not taking off my pants right now.
So mecca lecca hi, mecca honey ho. So here it is. As you can see, it's a Taylor.
Oh, you mean yours?
It is an acoustic. Yeah, Bob had to get his out so he didn't feel left out.
I feel naked.
But here she is. It is a Taylor CE 210 CE spruce, Sitka spruce top, Koa back and sides with electronics. Look at the finish on the back of this thing.
Does that get MTV? That's absolutely beautiful.
Isn't it?
Those are very difficult to find for sale. Like, look on Reverb right now. 0.
Yeah, nothing. I think they They came out with this model in 2013, and
they only had them for, I think, 2 years.
and it was out of production, I think, in 2015 for whatever reason. If you want this spruce and koa combo, though, you can get it in a grand auditorium shape. They discontinued the dreadnought shape. I just had to have the dreadnought shape because it suits my playing style. You know, I'm a heavy strummer, flat picker, as they call it, so I don't do a lot of finger picking with my finger. I use a pick. And so for me, this is louder. It's got more bottom end. This is just
I don't think they want to see it. I think they want to hear it.
bass, treble, and volume there. Pretty cut and dry.
No, hold on. Let me help you out.
Woo, and that's why these chairs are fantastic.
You're welcome.
Let me put my mic down here. If I can.
You wanted it to 12th fret. Oh, my Lord, that sounds good. Hold on, I got to go change my undies. Oh, that's right. I'm wearing a pad. I got a maxi pad on. You haven't dropped C?
No, this is
Half step?
This is D, but I don't know what this is.
It sounds tuned to normal. So you're on the 3rd fret, not the 4th.
So there you go.
That thing sounds big.
You take a gander.
Okay, here you go. Is it? Yeah. I think that's in full tuning too.
Probably.
I'm digging it, man. It's nice. It plays just like my Taylor, but it has a much larger sound to it. So,
Is yours a dread?
mine has the larger cutout.
It's probably
Right
a
here.
grand, maybe.
It's a grand auditorium.
So let's get rid of this. Bazinga. Now, a lot of guitar aficionados will say, well, that's not a solid wood. That's not solid wood back and sides. It's a solid spruce top, but the back and sides are layered koa. Now, I went to our local guitar shop, and I played a solid wood Dreadnought Taylor. And I got to say, and then I played the koa layered version, and I got to say, very similar. It's minute, the difference, and the price jump is $1,000 more for the solid wood.
That thing sounded great, and I mean,
yeah.
you know, if that thing's gonna produce a sound that others in the studio won't.
Yeah, and
So.
I tell you, I've been playing on about a $700 Ibanez, and you know, if you play a guitar for a while, you get used to it. And now when I play that one, I'm like, wow, like what a difference, you know.
They have an Ibanez that costs $700.
Not an Alvarez. Did I say Ibanez?
I was like, Ibanez makes a guitar that costs over $300. I didn't
That
know
was
that.
Alvarez. But yeah,
That was a one to it.
But put that Taylor up
Ibby.
next to it, man, and it's
Ibby.
it's night and day. So I'm definitely happy with it.
I just ordered a ribbon microphone in your honor
Oh, nice.
for that guitar,
Oh, nice.
so you can come over and track it.
Yeah, you know,
We are working on. That's what we've been doing the last few weeks, trying to get life handled so that we have more time, so that we can put together some live performance stuff. It won't be the whole show, but throw it in here and there,
Yeah.
kind of like we just did. Change it up a little bit.
mix it up.
In other words, we're getting sick of missionary. It's not working anymore.
That's a good way to put it.
And I can't do doggy because he farts a lot.
You know, are those blue mics? Are those ribbon mics?
Well, I mean, all of them make them. This one is an MXL, which is not a high end. I'm not producing, the next Led Zeppelin album here, so I don't need a $30,000 microphone. And I just wanted a ribbon to kind of check with voice. I want to try it with a couple of things. They're good for voice. They're good for acoustic guitars and they're good for brass instruments.
I'm pretty sure I tracked the vocals on the Alyssa Ties LP with a blue ribbon mic.
Really?
Yeah.
Blue has some mics that are $4,000 or $5,000. I've never used one. That's what brand these mic arms are. I was like, they're black. Stupid. Sorry. They are ebony.
But yeah, definitely looking forward to throwing y'all some performance segments here and there. Pepper them in.
Speaking of throwing you something, Alyssa Milano.
What's going on with her? She used to be pretty hot.
She's still, I'd smash, but if I wasn't married, of course. She's nothing compared to my wife. I have to say that. But man, I wish you had on headphones. Because I feel I'm good. She has created a movement. I personally think she needs to just quit, get off of Twitter, like Roseanne, and just run for office. If you're so damn into this crap, if you're so passionate about it, just run for office. And then when nobody votes for you, maybe you'll go back to just sitting down and shutting up with your cuck husband. She's worth $45 million. He's worth $2 million. He's an agent.
So what's this movement? What is she doing? She's going strike of some sort?
Yeah, she began hashtag sex strike. She wants women to quit having sex. Until
nothing will get built.
Well, we were kind of going to that.
It kind of makes the world go round. Kind of keeps production up.
She's doing it until reproductive rights in Georgia and now Alabama are restored. They basically want to kill a baby the minute it pops out.
So why should her husband suffer if he's for her cause?
Well, if she's this big of a bitch on Twitter, she's probably even worse in the bedroom. So, yeah, I'm sure he's.
Feel sorry for you, buddy.
I'm sure he's got a little side piece that he's smashing, which is bad. I totally don't agree with that. But in this particular case, what I think happens is that she knows that he's a cisgendered male. You know what to say when they say cisgendered male?
Is that like metrosexual?
When they say cisgender, that means that you identify as the gender that was put on your birth certificate. That's all that means. Why can't they just say you identify as a male? They don't have to say cisgender. Just say your birth gender, whatever. Anyway, yeah, CIS gender. Anyway, so I think that he, who is, I think, 8 years younger than her. She's 46. He's 38. So yeah, I think that when they want to, he identifies as a woman and they have lesbian sex together. It's a workaround.
Is this a theory or this?
It's my theory. I don't think she talks about that because I don't think.
Well, I guess if she goes on strike, he's got to stand behind his woman, and you have to practice.
If he was standing behind her, though, that would make it a little hard. Get it? Oh, so my point is, she's calling for everybody, all women, to do this until women get back their reproductive rights.
Well, you have to practice what you preach, and there's no better example of that than Panera Bread. They're known for their healthy foods, and
Speaking of yeast,
their new CEO, they picked a Krispy Kreme executive.
I wonder if he's raking in the donut.
No. And if you're on board with her agenda too, you might want to partake in the new vegan Whopper that Burger King is releasing nationwide by the end of the year.
I've heard about it. I forget what they were calling it, the Impossible, something like that. They were actually calling it the Impossible.
Now, when they had,
the Impossible Whopper?
When they had the CES Consumer Electronics Show this year,
yeah,
the most popular thing there was the vegan meat patty,
the grown meat patty, yeah.
Because you can press it and the blood comes out.
Yeah, but you said White Castle was interested in that.
It's pink in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, apparently Burger King's beating them to the punch.
They are calling it the Impossible Whopper, and I think that's a total misnomer because if you visit my local Burger King, every Whopper's impossible. It takes like 37 freaking minutes to get it. And by then, you've already given up on life. So
I gotta say, if I'm picking a drive-through fast food, I'm going Wendy's over pretty much anywhere
don't
else.
you love when they go, could you pull over here and we'll bring it out to you in a minute? And you say, nope. And then the look on their face is like, what? Did you just tell me no?
Pull up by our mailbox. We'll bring you our food.
He just said no to me.
How did this turn into a Sonic all of a sudden is what I'm thinking when they tell me that.
Yeah, I mean, two guys sitting around and next to each other, talking. Anyway.
Speaking of French fries, Trump has a doppelganger that is a woman that is a Spanish potato farmer, and it looks exactly like him.
What is a doppelganger? Oh, I get you.
His
Kind
twin.
of like me and Hetfield. I got told Fred Durst the other day.
And you were talking about just a second ago. You were about Milano and all that about LGBTQ. What?
JK.
I don't know how many more letters we can add to this. But I was thinking the other day, because I don't remember all this political correctness and Me Too and all this back when Obama was president.
He started it. He started all the division.
I don't remember all that. And I just wonder if having a testosterone egomaniac grabber, pardon the term, for a president has not caused all this ramp up and outrage of that community. Do you think that's a possibility?
No. It's an excuse.
Just a thought.
It's an excuse.
So scientists have spotted repeated blasts of radio signals coming from deep space. The breakthrough is only the second time scientists have seen such a repeating radio burst. It both deepens the mystery and offers a potential opportunity to finally understand what might be throwing out the burst from a galaxy billions of light years away. The most exciting of the new burst is one that scientists saw repeat 6 times, apparently from the same location. Of the more than 60 fast radio bursts detected so far, only one of them has ever repeated. Air Force confirms Alabama's Redstone Arsenal on short list for Space Command. The Secretary of the Air Force, Heather Wilson, said the candidate locations are Redstone, Buckley Air Force Base in Colorado, Cheyenne Mountain Air Force Station in Colorado, Preston Air Force Base in Colorado. I can't pronounce that Air Force Base in Colorado.
What was that first one again?
And a base in California.
What was that first one
the
again?
The first one's us.
Hey.
The next step, according to the announcement, will be to complete site surveys and analysis of candidate locations to see which meet mission requirements. So they haven't said it's us, but we're in the runnings on top of the list here. It could bring as many as 1,450 job personnel, including 390 military officers, 183 enlisted personnel, 827 civilian, and 50 contractors to Redstone. Well, that'll be good for the economy around here. Ooh. That was a gummy worm coming out of his nose for the audio listeners. Speaking of military, the U.S. Navy secretly designed a super fast, futuristic aircraft resembling a UFO, documents reveal. Military inventors filed plans for a highly unusual flying machine which uses an
inertial.
Thank you. Mass reduction device to travel at extreme speeds. Maybe they're using element 115.
Nope, that's
Lazar.
I think that's gravitational. What do they call it?
Gravitons. What that means is that the aircraft uses complex technology to reduce its mass and therefore lessen the inertia an object's resistance to motion so it can zoom along at high velocity. Wait a second. Reducing its mass? This sounds like some of these UFO sightings where they change shapes and they blink in and out.
Sounds like a penis.
We've all seen those.
You haven't seen mine.
Um.
Unless you've been on.
Oh wow! Look at these configurations here.
I'm good.
It looks like one of those black triangles.
That one looks like a different kind of triangle, if you know what I mean.
Well, if you turn it.
Yeah.
So one more UFO topic here. Interesting article from the Washington Post. How angry pilots got the Navy to stop dismissing UFO sightings. I believe General Chang actually told me to bring this up. This was...
Oh, you mean John?
This was on April 25th here. So, a recent uptick in sightings of unidentified flying objects, or as the military calls them, unexplained aerial phenomenon. That's the new term. Hillary Clinton actually brought this up on Jimmy Kimmel.
So now it's UAP.
Exactly. It prompted the Navy to draft formal procedures for pilots to document encounters, a corrective measure that former officials say is long overdue. As first reported by Politico, these intrusions have been happening on a regular basis since 2014. Recently, unidentified aircraft have entered military-designated airspace as often as multiple times per month. Pilots lose their wings talking about this stuff, especially airline pilots. In some cases, pilots, many of whom are engineers and academy graduates, claim to observe small spherical objects flying in formation. Others say they've seen white tic-tac shaped vehicles, which we brought up on an audio-only episode when we had some guests. The famous tic-tac shaped UFO.
Yes, I remember that.
Aside from drones, all engines rely on burning fuel to generate power. But these vehicles all had no air intake, no wind, and no exhaust. It's very mysterious, and they still seem to exceed our aircraft's speed, which, typically a drone can't do. He said, calling it a true radical technology. In 2017, the Pentagon first confirmed the existence of the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, ATIP. The ocean is finally getting cleaned up. Cost $20 million. It's finally beginning. And, I think we've talked about here on the show before, there's one in the Atlantic and there's one in the Pacific. These giant...
I think there's two in there. I think they're both in the Pacific.
Islands of trash. And I think there's one in both bodies of water.
No, I think they're both in the Pacific, and I think they both come. This is my theory. I think they both come from the fact that we ship all of our recyclables on ships over to China to be recycled, and all of it falls off.
But this is supposed to clean up 1.8 trillion pounds or tons. I don't know. 1.8 trillion something of trash, and it costs $20 million. But at least it's beginning. The wheels are.
I wonder out of all that, how much of it's straws.
Yeah. Well, good thing they put a ban on those, and we don't have to worry about that. 'Cause I was losing sleep over that at night.
Got my reusable. I wash it. I got like a dozen of them.
Those things get stained and gross looking.
I have an actual bottle brush that goes inside the straw.
Man, of course you do. Drying off with a blow dryer instead of a towel.
Yeah, well, not everybody can shave with a rusty tuna can lid like you. And look as gorgeous as you do.
Oh, good one.
That was a good follow-up there. Not to get into politics too deep, but I'm just thinking, I've been listening to these different politicians that are running, and I'm actually trying to listen to them. There's, the big names I don't care to hear from, the Bernies and the Bidens. They're all hitting the same talking points when they're making their pitch for, well, when I am president, and, they're not going, well, if I was president, or if I win the election. They're saying, when I'm elected, I like your enthusiasm there, your positivity, whatever. It's crap. But, I kind of thought about a couple things I'd like them to talk about. I'd like to hear about our privacy versus these tech companies. CNET did a story today saying that, well, Facebook's not listening to you, whether you like it or not. They're not activating your microphone and listening to your conversations, because that's the rumor mill of, if you talk about listening to Jim Croce music, and then all of a sudden you're going through your Facebook, feed, and it's like they suggest you listen to Jim or like Jim Croce's fan page. That's not a coincidence. Come on. That's about as random as it gets, saying Jim Croce, and then boom, Jim Croce comes up on your feed. Come on.
Yeah,
so
it happens to me all the time.
They're not listening to you at all. But seeing that in their story today, they cited that the congressional investigation, I guess you'd call it, hearings from last September, where Google and Facebook and everybody went to Washington and got grilled and all that. You probably remember Zuckerberg was up there. Nobody asking questions. None of those Congress people knew anything about how the internet even works. Half of them didn't even know what the hell Facebook was. And they're asking the CEO, creator of Facebook, about Facebook. They didn't know anything, not what you do on it, what it's for. They don't even know their freaking website address. Like, is it facebook.com? Anyway, so why are they the ones? But I'd like to know what these candidates think about that, because that's a big thing to me. The last thing I want is the government getting involved in anything. But just like if you go and bought, if you went right now to the gas station, to the Dollar General, to the grocery store, to Walmart, and bought a bottle of aspirin, and it said 200 milligrams acetaminophen, whatever, okay, whatever, that's what's going to be in each pill.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like that with CBD oil. CBD oil is a wonderful thing, and it can be a wonderful thing, but the industry is not getting off of its ass and creating its own standards for what's on the label. Has to be what's in each gummy bear or each drop of the oil. That has to be done. And it sucks because the industry is not doing it. So guess what? The government needs to step in and do it. And the last thing I want is the government stepping in and doing anything like that, because they always screw it up. But that needs to be done.
What was her name that was on the Rogan show?
Tulsi Gabbard.
Did she bring any of this up?
The only thing I heard her really talk about, and I did not get to listen to that entire episode in completion at once. I had half hour of it here, 45 minutes of it there, another 20 minutes there. It's like almost a 3-hour episode, and there's a lot in there. But primarily, what she talked about was her foreign policy, which I kind of agree with her. I don't know how it can be done, because I think Trump had a similar thing. We need to quit giving money to all these freaking countries for nothing. We need to quit involving ourselves in regime changes all over this country. Look at it everywhere that we have gone in militarily, where we have gone in militarily and intervened and got the old leader out, either through killing him or he just ducks tail and runs, and we put in somebody else. Mm-hmm. Don't you think they'd like to elect their own damn leader? Yeah. Let their people get that empowerment of changing it themselves. They can be like, we did this. They'll take more pride in their damn country. But now we're doing it in Venezuela. And if you look everywhere, we're doing it. Oil. Iran. We're involved with them. Why? Because they got oil.
Well, that's why we really need to be open and push on through this electric car phenomenon that Elon Musk has brought to the forefront, because, as you know, the electric car died in the 90s. This was a technology that was already out, and they came and confiscated these vehicles from people. This is not a new thing, even though now it's just widespread and they're not putting the lid on it. And they're not able to, because Elon Musk, obviously, he's a force to be reckoned with. But speaking of that, Tesla just unveiled the full self-driving Tesla model, where you can just be completely hands-off. And he says that the accident rate is way down. It's very minimal. He says Elon claims that it's more likely you will fall unconscious while driving randomly than the computer messing up and having an error.
Well, I don't
causing a wreck.
I don't think that the self-driving car industry is gonna be 100% or I think that their success rates are gonna go up, and their accident rates and boo-boos, where it turns down the wrong street or it puts the brakes on and when there's no stop sign kind of thing, which I don't know that is happening. I'm just trying to think of what could go wrong. I think all of that's going to subside a lot when they fully implement and release 5G. Not that I want that crap. Not that I want that cancer-causing crap on every 30 freaking meters, but because I think that's how it's got to be. There's going to be a little repeater, kind of a dish looking thing mounted like on every telephone pole on every street in America, and downtown it'll be on every damn building, and all that's doing is pumping radiation out. But anyway, but that's going to allow those cars to all talk to each other. Okay, and that's when things get real. Yeah, the headquarters for Space Force, Motherflower, right here. An old HVAC.
You're giving away our location, Bob.
Hawaii. What was that?
Holy.
What was it? Is it a bomb?
What it sounded like.
That would be awesome. I want to sell clean urine to people who can't pass drug tests. I think it'd be an excellent job.
Well, they have.
I mean, we'd sell.
They have synthetic urine that they sell to people. That
But this is actual pee.
Oh. Shall we play a game?